So I had a question on one of my other videos about the process of ascension of our soul and whether some of us are going to have to come back and experience the 3D world or if we're going to be moving into 5D, kind of that. And so in this episode, I want to share some truths or perspectives based on what my spirit team has told me regarding the evolution of our soul and how we are ascending into a new frequency or how we might not be fully ready to move into a 5D frequency. And so if you're interested in that, stay tuned and hopefully I can explain this with the help of my guides. Welcome to the Soul Alignment Mentor Podcast. I'm your host, Angie, and I'm inviting you to explore the depths of self-sabotage, limiting mindsets, and the beliefs that hinder our progress in life. Through intuitive messages I receive from my spirit team, I share profound insights to help you live authentically and break free from these limitations. Join me now as we uncover all the keys to living your best life. Welcome back. My name is Angie, and I'm your Soul Alignment Mentor, bringing you intuitive messages from my spirit team to help you align with your most authentic and highest self. This journey of being a human is difficult, and many of us are like, am I done yet? Do I have to come back here and do this human thing again? Because it really kind of just sucks. And I am right there with you because part of the evolution of a soul is challenges, and the challenges are what cause us to grow. But the challenges that we have on earth are not necessarily fun, nor are they enjoyable, or are they something that we really like or want to have while we're here. But when we go back to spirit, when we end this life, we leave this human fleshly bodysuit that we're wearing right now, and we get back into our original form where there is no pain, no suffering, and everything is perfect. Our soul actually craves this because it knows that this is where we grow. You can look at school as Earth as a school, and this school has levels in it. And each level provides an opportunity for our soul to grow more. And based on the level that you're on is the challenges or the things that you come to learn. Now, Spirit has given me insights and visions many times about how our soul goes through this evolution process. And the way that they have described this to me in the past is by explaining to me that when your soul is created, it is created out of source energy. You are an exact replica of God. And if you haven't seen some of my other videos or you haven't seen any of my interviews where I talk about when I saw God, when I saw where souls are made, we come out of source energy as a exact replica and frequency of itself. And then we go into this place that what I would call is the womb of the universe. So it's like maybe like a mother holds a child in her womb, like the universe has this womb that's being birthed. So these souls are being birthed, they're being created in this. And then they start to have a desire to experience themselves outside of the womb. They want to go explore this magnificent place that source has created to learn about itself in. And this magnificent place, this universe, has so many opportunities within it that it could do anything. But the soul is like, I want to go do that. I want to go to Earth. And because that is one of the best schools in the universe. Now, while we're here, it feels like the worst school because it is in the human perspective. But when we shift out of that human perspective and we come back into a higher dimensional thinking and we can look at it from the frequency of our spirit, this is the place we learn the most. And, we could compare this to so many things in our human experience. As I've taught before, like everything's a reflection of itself within the universe. And so we look down to just simple parts of our life and how we grow in different ways. Everything that we do is based on a challenge. From the time we come out of the womb to the time of your adult, when you first come out, you don't come out knowing how to form words. You don't come out knowing how to walk or crawl or even turn over. That is all things that you learn. And as a very little baby, you start to evolve, you start to learn, you start to mimic the energies and the people around you. And that is what teaches you how to be a human. If we weren't taught how to be a human, if we came to this human experience, could you imagine coming into Earth and nobody teaching you how to speak? Imagine all of us walking around still speaking like a newborn baby, gooing and gagging and making noises, which is likely how humans have existed before until the evolution of language and speaking. And, you know, I'm being reminded and drawn back to a past life experience that I had in a regression as a quantum healing hypnosis practitioner myself that take people back into past lives. It's always interesting to see where they go and what they experience. And for myself, I went back into experience a very, very, very long time ago where I lived like in like in Africa somewhere around the Congo, I think it was. And when we tuned in to what was being said around me and the tribe I lived in, it was clicking. We clicked at each other. And there are still civilizations in the world, whether we are connected with them or not, that still use clicking to communicate. We used clicking to communicate before we had, you know, telephones and things like that. So there's an evolution that we're going through of evolving as human species where it's reflected in everything based on a reflection of the universe. So when we're a little baby, we learn how to talk, we learn how to crawl, we learn how to roll over, then we learn how to walk. How many times does a child fall down when they're learning how to walk? Multiple times. Then we learn, if you learn how to swim, there's so many things, riding a bike. There are all these things that are example of the evolution of our soul, but you have to challenge yourself in order to get to that next stage. And the only way you challenge yourself is by putting yourself in the situation where you have to do something that is uncomfortable. You have to put yourself in that situation where you learn from your mistakes. And that is what our soul does as it evolves. So your soul is created in this frequency of God. It's held in this womb. It starts to explore itself there. It kind of evolves a little bit, and then it becomes aware of itself. And it's like, wait, I want to experience something. And so it goes out into the universe and it starts to split itself off into these different experiences. One part of itself might be in one dimension and the other part might be in another dimension, but you always have this oversoul that is fully and completely whole, that we always return back to after every experience that we have in the universe. But there's one part of your soul that decided, I want to go to Earth. I want to go learn there. I want to go challenge myself so much that my soul creates more and more and more of itself, and it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and more full of love. And the only way I can do that is by challenging myself and realizing what is love. When you are something, you don't have anything to challenge you to learn about what it is. You don't need something that you already have. And so by separating yourself from love, you come here, you become everything that is not love to find yourself back into love, to create an experience that teaches you what love is. And by becoming more and more and more aware of yourself, the evolution of your soul begins to expand. And that's how you elevate through this earthly experience. So in that very beginning stage, when your soul was like, I'm going to Earth, the very first time, and this could have been 10,000 years ago, we don't know. Your soul made a plan that said, these are the things I want to learn while I'm at school. I want to learn about self-love. I want to learn what it feels like to be betrayed. I want to learn how it feels like to be a perpetrator. I want to learn what it feels like to be a victim. I want to learn what it feels like to be rich. I want to learn what it feels like to be poor. I want to learn what it feels like to be content and happy. I want all these experiences out of that school because each time I learn from it, I become better and better and better and more and more and more aware of myself, which is love. And so it creates this plan, which we could call the Akashic records, that are full of these experiences that we're learning from and we're doing and we're creating. And we come to earth, and our very, very first life that we come to could be all about being a victim. I went to earth and I was a victim the whole time. Then you leave that experience and you go back to spirit, you go back to your higher self, and you say, what did I learn from that? What did I create for myself in that experience? And there may have been things that you didn't accomplish fully in that lifetime. And be like, well, I would like to learn a little bit more about that because I don't feel like I completed that lesson. So because you don't have pain and you don't have the awareness of that pain or experience as your soul self, you forget that it's so hard here and you think, I want to continue this because you set a goal for yourself in the very beginning with all these different things that you wanted to learn on earth, and you are determined to accomplish every single one of them until you've evolved into a new place and awareness in that realm. So you create this 3D experience for yourself. You create these lessons for yourself in the beginning of your existence, and then you start working through them. And each time you come into the next phase, you evolve. And many of us here on earth at this time, we have been here multiple times, and you have evolved to the point where you are self-aware. You understand love in a different format and way. You are healing. You are working on becoming more connected to your higher self. You pay attention to how you treat yourself and other people. And you desire to be more of your true self, to be authentic in this world. And that in itself shows you where you are on your evolved path. People that are not at that place of involvement where they're not either ready to do the work or they haven't gotten there won't even find this video because they're going to be focused on how do I, build more houses to make more money, or how do I get my ex back, or how do I have all this, whatever focus is. It's going to be very material focuses. It's going to be about earthly focuses. It's going to be about things that benefit the ego. But when you evolve, you start looking for things that benefit my soul, what benefits my growth, what benefits my ability to connect with my authentic version, what benefits my relationships, what creates safety within my nervous system, what creates safety in my connection with other people. How do I set a healthy boundary? How do I love people that are hard to love? How do I understand what is a reflection and mirroring back to me, or something I'm mirroring to someone else that teaches both of us something that we need to learn? That's the evolution of the soul. And so there will be people in the human experience that have not gone through those evolution process yet, that still want to come back and experience the 3D. And the 3D will remain because we are the ones that create the 3D. We are the creators of our experience. And so those souls who are still wanting to create those experiences for itself will absolutely go back into that 3D experience until it feels like it's reached the point where it can evolve into the next realm, into 4D and in 5D or whatever that might be. But once you get to that place that you have evolved and you're like, I think I'm done here, I've accomplished all the things that my soul set out to do, you can ascend. You can begin to go experience other things within the universe. And it's not that you're not already doing that. I believe, and I, in some capacity, have a deep knowing that part of my soul is already evolved and is already experiencing itself in another dimension because I've had visions and connections with that part of myself. And I believe that that part of myself often helps me here on earth to continue to evolve, because there's a possibility that some of you that are much more evolved in your soul evolution are just volunteering to come to help the other souls to evolve. And that is just to hold frequency of light and a reflection in the dark energy so that they can find their way back out of it. If you've watched my last video where I talk about the different elements of moving through the muddy water, that's what it is. The sun is where everybody's trying to get back to the light. But without the sun being there, you can't see it. So there's volunteer souls that will come to be teachers, that will come to remind humans, this is the path, this is where you're going. Because when we get here, we forget. We don't know we're here on a lesson. We don't know we're here for a short amount of time. We don't know that, I came here to experience that pain. I came here to learn from that. And until you have a teacher or a mentor or somebody that comes into your life, you may not see that. And you may not even seek that out in some of your lifetimes because you want to learn how to just be in that experience. Then you get to the other side and be like, oh, wait, I could have done this, or this could be different, or that could have been different. Or maybe you came into Earth and you were harming other people and you were like, wow, I need to change that. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to experience what it feels like to be harmed. I'm going to play the other role. Or I'm going to come and be a humanitarian where I help humans. Or I'm going to go be a firefighter because I died in a fire last life. Now I'm going to go help people. Like, there's all these things our soul wants to accomplish. And the only way to accomplish these certain types of learning is by coming to the place that provides it. And that is why this is a school of evolution. This is where, we talk about old souls and young souls and new souls and all that. In a way, that is true. But it's not necessarily an old soul or a young soul. It's the evolution and the experience of that soul that makes it appear old or young. A soul that has came and learned multiple things within its experience appears to have more knowledge and appears to have more connection with its higher self and spirit than a soul that is just now beginning its experience within the human realm, or has not evolved through the experiences it has been going through. And so therefore it continues this journey and it comes to experience something that can teach us that. So it's not ever our soul's desire to just be like, whew, I'm done. That earth thing is horrible. Don't go there. Going around the universe telling souls, don't go to earth. That place sucks. It is so painful. It's so hard. No spirit should go to earth. That is exactly the opposite of what happens in the spirit realm. They're actually like, wow, look at those spirits that go down into that dimension that is so difficult. They're in awe of the experience and they love that we do this. And this is why we have helpers on the other side. This is why we have loved ones. This is why we have guides, because they're in awe of our desire to come and experience this dimension. But they know how hard it is. And so the universe is so smart and clever. It sets up help for us while we're here to help us on that journey to come back into ourselves. And Spirit has shown me multiple times that when we come to Earth, we feel like we're here forever. And then when we return, it's literally a blink of an eye. It feels like it just happened. And our spirit guides are waiting for us to help us acclimate back into that higher frequency, because it's such a shock to the soul, because the soul is literally taking itself and creating itself into one of the densest energies it possibly can to learn the most lessons. And so these guides help remind the soul, this is who you really are. And then the soul goes through the process of learning. When it goes to the other side, it evaluates, it goes back through the experience, it learns from it, and then it decides, I'm going to go back, or I think I'm done with that experience. And then, like I said, you could be completely done with the experience and be like, I'm going to go help. I'm going to go back and help. And then you go back and help. And the only way that a soul can come back and help is by integrating back into the human experience and learning exactly how to help the other souls. So it will go through what it needs to go through to help those it's supposed to help. And it's all for the purpose of growth and expansion of the entire universe and of the frequency of love. And that is why we're here, to evolve in love. Hopefully this helped. And if you have any more questions, please reach out. I love questions like this, and I'm happy to sit and meditate if I don't know it, or I can channel it for you so that we can see what my spirit team might say themselves. If you are looking for support in any kind of way, feel free to reach out. The links are below in the description. We have a healer circle that meets twice a month. We have an Ascension membership that meets twice a month where we support each other. It's basically a really beautiful support group for spiritual evolving people. And I have one-on-one availability as well. So reach out if you are looking for that. Until we meet again, I wish you the best day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you. I send you all the universal love. Namaste.